Welcome back. One final point before we go tonight. The liberal mainstream media hate President Trump so badly, they're willing to glorify a brutal dictator in order to insult Vice President Mike Pence. Think about that. The liberal media actually prefer Kim Jong-un over President Trump. How quickly liberals forget about Otto Warmbier. CNN, the New York Times, the Washington Post, ABC, and Reuters all complicit in glorifying a sadistic she-devil, the sister of Kim Jong-un, because a camera caught Kim giving Vice President Pence the side eye at the opening ceremonies on Friday. The media loved it because, that'll show Trump. The New York Times proclaimed, without a word, only flashing smiles, Kim Jong-un's sister outflanked Vice President Mike Pence in diplomacy. CNN claimed Kim Jong-un's sister is stealing the show at the Winter Olympics. The Washington Post says Kim captivates. The BBC called Kim Jong-un's sister North Korea's Ivanka Trump. So let's break this down. According to the mainstream media, Ivanka Trump is complicit in her father's administration, but Kim Jo-young is not. Make no mistake, Kim Jo-young is more than complicit. Her family runs the gulags in North Korea. She herself is the director of propaganda. And what she's doing at the Olympics is literally living propaganda. And the mainstream media is falling for it, empty liberal head over tyrant's heels. According to Reuters, North Korea has been judged the winner of diplomatic gold at the Olympics. And their article quotes a person who claimed Kim's smile made North Korea appear to be a normal state. A normal state? Is it normal to you to starve your people to death? Is it normal to you that North Korean hockey player Jang Soo-hyun said, playing at the Olympics felt like competing in heaven, but her translator corrected her interpretation to, it felt like I was competing in my own country. Does that sound normal to you? Is it normal to sadistically torture a 20-year-old American college student because he swiped a propaganda sign from a hotel room? Kim Jong-un's sister is a monster, a killer, a torturist. She's proudly representing a regime that last time South Korea hosted the Olympic Games, her country blew up a commercial airplane mid-air, killing 115 people on board. That is not normal. Also not normal, the way the liberal media is fawning over an evil killer. Does the media want North Korea to win here? Do they truly hate Donald Trump with such a fearsome loathing that they're willing to ignore the millions of people who were starved to death by Kim Jong-un? The hundreds of thousands of North Koreans who were killed? The advisors who were assassinated? The citizens who are plagued with cancer from the radiation of Kim Jong-un's nuclear test site, which he places amongst his people? Is the liberal media willing to ignore the 100,000 prisoners who are kept as slaves of the regime? Or the fact that Kim Jong-un's propaganda ministry refuses to report the death counts from his prison camps because the numbers are so enormously damning? Is the media willing to turn a blind eye on the 3 Americans held in captivity right now by the communist dictator? The walking skeletons in North Korea's labor camps, beaten and worked so hard that they literally drop dead. The Christians in North Korea who are living a life of hell. Is the media truly willing to look at the crutches of Ji Sung-ho, the North Korean tortured for trying to find food for his family, dismiss the atrocities committed by Kim Jong-un and his sister, so barbaric and so inhumane that the United Nations declared them to be crimes against humanity? Is the mainstream media willing to overlook that evil all because they don't like Donald Trump? I think they are. But see, here's the thing. Sagar Enjeti from the Daily Caller wrapped it up with chilling clarity on Twitter last night. Enjeti tweeted, "My theory behind Kim Yo-jong Gate is that many of us in the West can no longer comprehend the depravity of a regime like North Korea. We spend so much time calling minuscule things Hitler-like, we've forgotten how to process true evil." And make no mistake, Kim Jong-un's sister is true evil. This is the Korean Peninsula. South Korea, lit up and thriving. North Korea, dark, black, destitute, and starving. But liberals feel nothing. They know nothing of cruelty and Kim Jong-un's tyranny. They spend so much of their time crying wolf, decrying Republican politicians as purveyors of dictatorship, that when faced with a truly evil dictator, they feel nothing except their rabid hatred of Donald Trump. And that's my final point.
There has never been a more honest statement from Donald J. Trump than CNN is fake news. Every time CNN tells you that they are the voice of the people, fake news. CNN recently posted an article titled, "Kim Jong-un's sister is stealing the show at the Winter Olympics." What? It's like they're not even trying to hide it anymore. Instead of talking about the Winter Olympics, Let's talk about Kim Jong-un's sister. Are you kidding me? They are praising a communist dictator's sister, a woman whose literal title is Minister of Propaganda and Agitation Department of North Korea. I mean, propaganda and agitation really ties in with CNN, so that makes sense. So basically, she's the Minister of Fake News for North Korea, right? Okay, there. It all makes sense now. CNN is fake news, and she's the Minister of Fake News. This is just... wow. I'm not even trying to hide it anymore. Well, Trump called us out. We're fake news. Let's support other fake news. This is journalism, guys. This is journalism. See, when they can't find stories on Kim Kardashian, they say, what's the Minister of Propaganda and Agitation Department up to? I'm sorry, I can't. CNN not only goes out of their way to compliment Kim Jong-un's sister, they hate Trump and Pence so much, they're willing to go out of their way and glorify North Korea whilst insulting Pence. Well, everyone's mad at Colin Kaepernick for sitting down during the national anthem. Why should Mike Pence sit down for North Korea? Maybe because, like Colin Kaepernick, Mike Pence is an American. And on top of that, why should Mike Pence stand for an evil communist dictator? Explain that, CNN. You would rather support Kim Jong-un, an evil communist dictator, over Trump. An evil dictator who literally slaughters journalists for writing bad articles about him. They prefer Kim Jong-un to Donald J. Trump. Then again, we're talking about a racist, homophobic, anti-freedom, anti-press. Oh wait, that's not Trump. That's Kim Jong-un. But Trump called CNN fake news. Well, they are promoting the Minister of Propaganda and Agitation Department for North Korea. So yeah, I guess you can say they are fake news. The fake news media is literally supporting the fake news in North Korea. I've seen it all. CNN isn't even trying to hide the fact. Communist, communist, communist. What does CNN stand for? Cable news network. Okay, even Google is fake news. Because at this point, that should say communist news network. It's not even leftist bias anymore. It's communist, Marxism. It's right there in your face. Because not only is CNN fake news, they are communist news, and they are proving it to everyone. My name is Ashton, love thy country, hate thy government.
With reaction, former deputy assistant to the president, Fox News national security strategist Sebastian Gorka, and former U.S. ambassador to the UN, Fox News contributor John Bolton. Dr. Gorka, I look at this and I say, okay, it's the same theme. So there's a compulsion on the left to want to suck up to the world's worst dictators. Why? Why do they think that works?
Look, it's nothing new. This is what the New York Times was doing with Walter Duranty in the 1920s and 30s, who was singing the praises of the Soviet Union as Stalin was killing millions of people. I mean, this is a regime. I mean, you pointed out, this is the person who runs propaganda for a Stalinist regime that's starving its own people. Would CNN have celebrated Goebbels? Would they have celebrated the propaganda machine of Hitler's Third Reich? It's outrageous. The lack of self-awareness of the left-wing media is incredible. You have one of the most honorable men in the world, Vice President Mike Pence, sitting there doing what is right morally, and they want to focus on a key member of an evil, evil dictatorship. It's beyond the pale, Sean.
You know, you look at these quotes. I mean, CNN ambassador, you know, going out there, Kim Jong-un's sisters stealing the show at the Winter Olympics, and the New York Times, without a word and only flashing smiles, Kim Jong-un's sister outflanks Vice President Pence in diplomacy. Where's this desire to just worship the propaganda minister of North Korea with their horrific human rights record? Well, I thought the left cared about human rights.
Only when it suits them. And, you know, it's more than the bias. It's their incompetence. It's their lack of knowledge, their unwillingness to look, their lack of appreciation for the fact that the North Korean propaganda machine has done all this before. They've had unified Korean teams march in 3 previous Olympics. They've had invitations in 2 intra-Korean summits years ago in 2000 and 2007. all of this propaganda, of which the current Olympic charade is part, did absolutely nothing to slow down the North Korean nuclear weapons and ballistic missile programs. And that's what the current charade is doing. The media are stenographers for the North Koreans, and their lack of historical knowledge or appreciation shows they've got the attention span of fruit flies.
I still, for the life of me, have a hard time understanding why people think bribing people that threaten to destroy you, death to America, death to Israel, burn the Israeli flag, burn the American flag. Oh, who thinks it's a good idea to send in cargo planes full of cash and currency, and that somehow the mullahs will like us in Iran, or the dictators in North Korea will somehow change their ways, Dr. Gorka?
Sean, there's a very simple answer to all of this. Why do they do this? Because these people don't love America. Why did these people excuse everything Obama did for 8 years as he went on an apology tour?
I don't think that's it. I think they actually think that if you kiss their ring and bow before them, that they will like you. And as history has proven, that doesn't work.
But why would you do that with a regime that is evil? There's a very important point here that we need to appreciate, that the left-wing media always helps our enemies. They don't support Israel, our best friend in the Middle East. They support Iran. Think about that. They don't support our great longtime allies. They support those who are anti-American, whether it's North Korea, whether it's Iran, or whether it's China. This is, if you don't like America, then the media will love you. It's that simple.
Ambassador Bolton, because Donald Trump has taken a hard line. Little rocket man, I have a bigger button on my desk, and ours actually works, which I think is hilarious, but it also sends a strong message. Do you think it had any impact on Kim Jong-un and his desire to be in these Olympics, potential talks with South Korea? Does peace through strength, did it have any impact here?
I think it's had an enormous impact, because I think for the first time, certainly in 8 years, but really for the first time significantly in 25 years of our efforts to stop North Korea from getting deliverable nuclear weapons, I think they believe that when Donald Trump says all options are on the table, he really means it. And for North Korea, this is a very critical period. It is for us, too, because the North is, as CIA Director Mike Pompeo said, within a handful of months of having this deliverable nuclear weapons capability. So I think what the North was trying to do was throw up a propaganda screen, have people ooh and ah over the sister, look at the joint women's hockey team for the Koreans, and forget the uranium centrifuge is still spinning and the rocket scientists still working, in hopes they can get across that finish line before we can do anything about it.
Dr. Gorka, I think the Washington Post had one of my favorites, the Ivanka Trump of North Korea. Did they inadvertently suggest that that Ivanka Trump is good for the country and a bit of a star? It wasn't on purpose, I'm sure.
No, I mean, the great irony is that if this were really an analogy with Ivanka Trump, they would have attacked this woman, just as they've attacked everybody in the president's family since he became the president. So, no, they're
nicer to the propaganda minister than the president's daughter. That's probably a good point.
Yeah, think about it.
Right.
Nice. The left-wing media in the last week has supported the dictatorship in North Korea, given them free propaganda. This is a regime that has labor camps, Sean.
All right, well said. Thank you both. Sad but true. News gets harder every day.